Hello YouTube and welcome to another exciting episode of £5 and Under, that lovely programme that hopes to give you some gaming insight into some brilliant games that are £5 or under, or cheaper than £5, who knows. Damien's done a brilliant job so far, but obviously I'm going to have a crack at it now. Because I'm more of a console gamer and a retro gamer more importantly, I'm going to suggest to you in this episode some games from the PS5 store. That could be available on other things, but generally it's PS5 where I've gone through. So I've gone through all the shovelware to hopefully find you some good games that you can get for under a fiver. So let's take a look. First up, we've got a game called Ninja Senki DX. It is $4.99 and is available on PlayStation and PC as well. It's a retro style game and it looks like and is inspired by all those classic NES games that you used to play back in the day. Basically the plot is when the princess is slain by a demon, you become obsessed with revenge and are out to kill the demon responsible. And as you can imagine, it not only looks like a NES game, but it plays like a NES game. It is NES hard and you'll be lucky to get through it in one piece, and you'll probably end up dying and dying and dying. Oh, wait a minute. And dying again. Yes, so it's one of them for all those Dark Souls fans out there that like to keep going. And basically you need to practice the levels like you did back in the day. So you'll constantly keep playing those levels over and over until you master the way through it and the style through it. If you're crazy enough as well, there's some different modes in there. There's hardcore mode, which has no saving at all. And there's also challenge mode, which means completing each of 16 levels and under some conditions. So you've got to do the levels in a certain time, or collect so many coins, or kill so many enemies in that sort of mode. So there's lots of replayability there for you as well. It's actually a really good game. Like I say, it does take a lot of practice to do it, but it's very satisfying when you get through the levels. Obviously the level design is great. It has your standard platforming elements to it. Some of the enemies are different. Obviously they change as you go through it, with getting progressively harder as you go through the levels. And also you have your end of level bosses as well, which, like are your NES bosses as well, some of them are just ridiculously hard, but obviously when you get past them, you feel that immense sense of satisfaction like you did with the old retro games. So I highly recommend this one. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's great even though it's retro style, the look of it, but the playability and the gameplay is absolutely brilliant for the amount of money you're paying. Next up, we have Tabletop Racing World Tour. This game is absolutely brilliant. I love it to bits, and it's even cheaper than a fiver at £2.49. You can get it on the PlayStation, Xbox and PC. And basically this is a lovely 3D, essentially Micro Machine style game. You play as small cars that obviously race around tabletop surfaces, and you've got different arenas to do it on and many obstacles to get in the way. There's loads of power-ups you can pick up going around, just like Mario Kart, to either help boost your speed or to fire on other enemies to slow them down. There's lots of shortcuts you can take as well, which is really cool to try and find them throughout the track to obviously speed along and hopefully win the races. When you win the races, or where you finish in the race, determines the prize money you get, and then that prize money can be spent to upgrade your car or buy different cars. And you can basically buy road cars, you can buy vans or trucks, but you can also buy supercars as well as you progress further and earn more money. And this obviously puts you in higher races as you go along through the game. You work through the tours and the championships. You need the faster cars obviously to progress and get better. It's an absolutely brilliant game if you really love, like I say, your Micro Machine style game, and I've absolutely ploughed loads of hours into this game. I absolutely love it. You've also got time trials if you want to try and beat your time on some of them. You have collectible coins hidden throughout the stages that you have to try and find, and that's really cool as well. Adds a new dynamic to it and more playability to it, that you could go back and keep playing this game. It's a lot of fun to do with your friends, to play online as well, multiplayer action. And like I say, it's essentially like Micro Machines, the fun of Micro Machines that you had back in the day, and mixed with a bit of Mario Kart action as well. It's a great little racing game. And yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. Like I say, I've absolutely ploughed loads of hours into this game, and for the price, well, you can buy it twice for your fiver. It's absolutely brilliant value for money and a great game to play. And finally, as a little bonus, is a classic retro game called Gynig, or I like to pronounce it Gnog, but Gynig apparently. But yeah, it's a classic off the Mega Drive. I absolutely love this game. I have the original cartridge on the Mega Drive because it's such a great retro game, and it's amazing that you can actually play this on the PS5 as well. It is $4.99, which might seem a bit expensive for a retro game, but it's absolutely amazing. It's a brilliant shoot 'em up. You basically play as an angel, working your way through the different levels of hell, you know, to get to the end of it. You've got mid-level bosses and end bosses, and oh my goodness, are they rock hard. It's an absolute gem of a game that you've just got to play, and like I say, just to get it on the console is amazing, but with it only being $4.99 as well, it's well worth you adding in, especially if you're into shoot 'em ups, because it's an absolute classic. Well, I hope you enjoyed those recommendations, but do you have anything to recommend to us and the rest of the brilliant YouTube community? If so, can you put it in the comments down below, and then maybe we'll do it in another episode, recommend those games or have a little play ourselves and just share the joy of YouTube and games as always on there. But until next time, thanks for watching.